Hey y'all, it's Dan for Numerical Lion, and I saw this story today on Thursday, March 19th, 2020. Astronaut Al Worden, who circled the moon and once earned a record for most isolated human being, has died. And here we're talking about COVID 19 and people need to isolate themselves and, practice social distancing. Well, this man is the king of social distancing. Astronaut Al Worden. So here he is, Alfred Merrill Al Worden, talks during the 115th Explorers Club, 115 like Masonic, like killing, March 16th or 16/3, 163, the 38th prime, like death. And I'll show you why that's also interesting. So I'll read a little bit of this article here. Al Worden, astronaut from the Apollo lunar program, has died, NASA says. Worden was command module pilot on the Apollo 15 lunar landing, and although he never got to walk on the moon, he performed 3 spacewalks on the flight back from the moon to retrieve film from cameras on the spacecraft. As astronauts David Scott and James B. Irwin explored mountains on the moon, Worden circled around them. So he spent 295 hours in space, and he died Wednesday in Texas at the age of 88. So it was being reported today, and he became an astronaut in 1966. It's on Mr. Rogers' show. So I didn't do his name with the Al nickname in there. Let's take a look at that before we start this. 225. 108. Interesting numbers there. Nothing really grabs a hold of me. Well, let's go to the decode here. Oops. Check out my blog, daniellionsden.blogspot.com. So this was reported on the 19th. 193, the 44th prime number, kill 44. And this today is the vernal equinox. It's the earliest spring equinox in the equator that we've seen in 124 years. So this is a very rare event, 124 years, and his name, Al Worden, equals 124. So that's very interesting. Also, Al Worden equals 92 and 38. Just like COVID-19, he's talking about the most isolated, human being. Well, Al Worden was the most isolated human being. 92 and 38. So he spent 295 days. So he orbited the moon, equals 163. Remember that conference was on March 16th or 16/3. He orbited the moon, 163, the 38th prime, like COVID-19, like Al Worden. And here he is, Alfred Worden, Merrill Worden. Born February 7th in Jackson, Mississippi, died in Sugar Land, Texas. Check this out. He orbited in 74 times. 74, that number, Masonic 74, Gematria 74. So February 7th was the 38th day of the year, right? Al Worden equals 38. COVID-19 equals 38. Born on the 38th day of the year. He's the most isolated human being, equals 93. It's thought that the sun is 93 million miles from the Earth, right? Saturn 93. The occult sun is Saturn. 93, also a number of propaganda. Astronaut equals 39, the reflection of 93. And from this story to his next birthday is 327 days. And that's interesting because February 7th leaves 327 days left in the year. So the story was reported on the 79th day of the year. That's interesting because Apollo 15 equals 97, the reflection of 79. He was on Apollo 15. He died in Sugarland, equals 97 as well. 97, a death number as well. Write out death. It equals 97. Also, Worden equals 79, just like the day that they reported that he died. 79, also a murder number. Check out his Worden. His name Worden. Worden. And murder. 79, 34, 83, like murder. 79, 34, and 83. So he was murdered. You know, some would say, well, he was 88 years old. How could he be murdered at that age? So he orbited the moon equals 73. Also, NASA equals 73. The story, you know, coming out of NASA. NASA 73. Moon equals 21. That's interesting because 73 is the 21st prime number. So orbited the moon 73, NASA 73, moon 21. Worden also 34, Apollo 15 34. He was on Apollo 15. Sugarland also 34, the place that he supposedly died. And so he died on the 88th day of his age, which is, you know, the 42nd day of his age of 88, 42. Interesting because he died in Sugarland. TX equals 42. And also, you know, astronauts, they're all Freemasons. In fact, most Freemasons will tell you flat out that the astronauts were all Freemasons. Freemason equals 42. See that? Also Saturn. Talked about Saturn before. Remember, moon is 21 as well. Right? Astronauts also 30 with the S exception. Saturn 30. Astronaut 30 as well. Notice it's 60 as well. The story updated at 6 a.m. So just more murder by numbers. 1, 2, 3. Let's look at this for a second. The 115th Explorers Club annual dinner. These aren't random photos. These aren't random, you know, things that they do. It's all scripted. Oh, so this was the first day of spring as well. Spring 83 and 38 and 79, 34, like these numbers of Worden. Right? Worden in spring. Reported on the first day of spring. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry here. It's 411. Yeah, 137 times 3. Got to have their 33 in there. So that'll do it. Just another murder by numbers story. Please spread this knowledge. Now more than ever, people need to know. This picture of me. I use gematria to reveal the false reality in which we live in. Thanks so much.